Thank you for joining us today, and we are very excited to introduce you to our featured author, Corinna Stoeffl. She is part of the book Voices of the 21st Century, Women Who Influence, Inspire, and Are Making a Difference. This book serves as an opportunity for women from around the world to come together to share their truth, their voice. This book really serves as a conversation starter out there because it will disrupt status quo, stir the pot by absolutely breaking some new ground. It's done by one woman simply sharing her voice, to be vulnerable and transparent. And we know that takes a lot of courage, and which is why we as women and why when more of us are rising up to share our truth, we must support one another by both sharing and listening. So let's dive in. Let's meet Corinna. Corinna, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Gail.
Awesome. Well, I've read your story. You share a powerful story, and what we'd love for you to do is just give us a little insight as to what inspired you to share this story.
I'm for 2 years now certified being you facilitator, and in order to not only get the certification but also keep it, I had to take classes. And what I noticed is how much change it created. And you can look at being you, being your authentic self. And I always thought I was me. But with what I learned in those classes, I started looking at my life and who I am in a different way, and that created that change. Now, what changes did it create? I would say the biggest one is I am almost done with judging myself. Not completely, but it's so much less. And with judging myself, I'm not meaning that I don't honestly look at what I do and who I am. There is no longer a judgment attached to it. And that can really be so tremendously destructive. You know, I don't pay as much attention anymore to what others think, how others might judge me. And before I used to, am I saying this right? Should I be more careful? Maybe I'll couch it so I don't upset anyone. And today I'm okay if someone disagrees with me. That's fine. It doesn't rock my world or destroy me. And I'm really happy about that. And it's just such a gift for me to have that being me. And being so aware of it.
Absolutely. I mean, judgment, I think, plagues every single one of us.
Yeah.
Can you agree? And it is that one piece, which is really interesting, judgment, how it comes to be within us.
Mm-hmm.
How we slowly evolve from our childhoods, and we must get that from a very early on time.
That is, I would totally agree with it. And, I can only go from my childhood experience, and I received plenty of judgment. I mean, my mother was highly critical, and I was told, oh, I need to point out where you're not perfect so you can become perfect. Talk about putting a load on your shoulders. And then, you get into the habit and you need to judge yourself in order to get better. If that would work, by now we all should be perfect.
Yeah, we should be all perfect by now, shouldn't we?
But we aren't. So it obviously is not working in the way we're sold to judge ourselves. And that's why I find it is so important to, yes, have the honest look at ourselves. But that doesn't need to have a judgment component to it.
Yeah. I love that you tackle this subject and really bring it to the forefront, because it is something we need to talk about, because it is something we all experience on various different levels, regardless of our confidence,
Yeah.
what we're doing. We always self-judge. It could be our appearance. It could, uh, just in how we're doing in life, right?
Yes.
Now, in your story that you share with us and those tips, are you giving advice on how to overcome or how to manage that?
I go a little bit into that. My main intention was to uh, for the chapter to be an invitation to others to start even looking at that, and to realize that, as I said before, I thought I was me. And during those classes, I started to see how I was not actually me, but an expectation that others had of me, or the projection of who I was supposed to be. And is that truly who I am?
So, are you saying step one is self-awareness?
Yeah, that is a huge part of it. And it's again this honest looking at, and not going in, doing it without the judgment. That is so important. And that is where I really wanted to be the invitation for others, because if we stop judging ourselves and can be who we are happier. And us being happier makes the people around us happier.
That's beautiful. So, speaking to that one person out there who's sitting, maybe listening to your words right now, and
Mm-hmm.
really connecting with them, feeling like I'm a person who holds a lot of judgment to myself, what would you expect that reader to really, what do you want them to take away from the story?
Um, what I would like them to, for them to take away, is that being you means to choose what works for you. And we are hesitant to do that because it's labeled selfish. But it isn't selfish. It actually creates more for everyone, for the person themselves, as well as I said before, the people around them. And in that sense, by being who we truly are, we can actually create tremendous change. And
Nice.
isn't that what is beautiful?
Powerful. Very
Yeah.
powerful. So I know you've taken, well, that's a strong takeaway to be able to really claim that power back, and to claim that power back to make change,
Yeah.
which is, what a lot of us desire. Now, you've shared that you've taken courses, and that's what helped create that awareness. How has it impacted your life today? I mean, are you doing a business helping people overcome?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I,
Well,
I do one-on-one, as well as teach workshops on being the concepts of being you. And it's really, I mean, I noticed that I was at a leads group meeting this morning, and it is so much easier to be vulnerable and to say, I have difficulty talking about that, and keep trying to say something that makes it understandable for you. And that's fine for me. But talking like this 3 years ago or 4 years ago, oh no, that would not have been possible. I would have had to safeguard myself way too much.
right. So claiming that power back, I mean, it's fantastic. Not only you've been able to claim it back for yourself, but you're able to share it with others.
Yeah.
So
And that's so fulfilling.
yeah, I could see that. I can see the joy radiate from you. You know,
Yep.
it's really fantastic. And, I just really want to thank you for what you've gone through to overcome and relearn, and not just to relearn to improve yourself, but you've relearned to improve yourself and now teaching others.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're a tremendous gift for,
Thank you.
to us who get to experience you. And so I really want to thank you, Corinna, for joining us on the show today, and for sharing what you have. But before we sign off, I know you must have some words of wisdom that you'd like to leave with us as listeners today.
Be you, change the world.
Simple.
Yeah.
Simple and powerful.
Simple but potent.
Be you and change the world.
Yeah. And it's actually the title of a book that the person who created the whole Being You training wrote.
Okay. Well, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
All right. Well, a great story. You'll have to check out. To our listeners, I'd like to thank you for joining us today. You do want to read Corinna's story. Obviously goes a lot deeper to get behind the scenes on how to overcome and really get past that judgment. We don't need to live with it, right, Corinna?
No, we don't. And life gets so much easier if we don't have it. So
that's fantastic. All right. Well,
thank you for having me.
Sorry?
Thank you for having me, Gail.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. So I'd like to thank everybody for joining us today. I'd also like to invite you to join us again next week and hear from some more amazing women sharing their voice. And remember, to you, your message matters as well, because to the world you may be one person, but to one person you may be the world. Thank you for listening.
Great. Thank you.